43 wins, 16 losses, and an undefeated 11-0 February, and people are still acting like this Spurs run came out of nowhere. I don't buy that for 1 second. A team does not wake up in late February at 43-16 by accident. A team does not go perfect for an entire month because the basketball gods felt generous. And a team definitely does not do it in the West with this many young players if the structure is fake. Something real is happening in San Antonio.
Can't hit the leaner. So yes, Powell thrust into action. Wembanyama! Oh my!
And the part I find most interesting is this. Everybody talks about Victor Wembanyama, and obviously they should, but this team is not winning like a one-man highlight reel. They're winning like a machine that keeps changing who hurts you. One night it's Wemby, next night it's Fox, then Castle goes nuclear, then Vessel cooks, then Julian Champagny turns into a flamethrower and ruins your evening. That's contender behavior. Before we get into it, those who are not subscribers, you keep showing up for the best parts and leaving before the playoff. You know the routine. Fix it. Now, let's frame this the right way. This is not just a Spurs are back story. This is a the Spurs skipped a phase story. Because the normal timeline is young star, fun flashes, bad losses, maybe the play-in, then a slow climb. San Antonio looked at that timeline and basically said, yeah, no thanks. They're 43-16 through February 26, first in the Southwest, second in the West, and only a game and a half behind Oklahoma City. Statistically, they already look like a top 4 team in the conference. That's not a cute rebuild, that's a real race. And if you zoom out, the reason this feels bigger than one hot streak is the franchise context. This is one of the great organizations in league history, 5 championships, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. The 2014 title team that moved the ball like it was trying to embarrass the concept of dribbling. The beautiful game Spurs didn't just win, they made other teams look late. So when people in San Antonio start whispering, this feels familiar, that's not nostalgia talking, that's pattern recognition. It's a city feeling the weight of its basketball identity come back to life. Now here's the shift that matters. Greg Popovich stepped off the bench and moved full-time into the front office, and Mitch Johnson officially took over as head coach on May 2nd, 2025. That is one of the biggest transitions in modern basketball, and somehow it hasn't blown up the season. If anything, the Spurs got sharper.
Minutes where we know he's a clutch leader in NBA. Let's go!
That alone deserves more respect, because replacing Pop is not a normal coaching handoff. That's like taking over a brand where every song is already a classic and everybody in the crowd came to see the old singer. And Mitch Johnson didn't just survive it. He got the team to a 33-16 start by early February and coached an All-Star weekend. That doesn't happen if your locker room is split, if your stars don't trust you, or if your system is fake. So let's get to the part people actually care about. Why is this team winning now? I think it comes down to 3 things. Reason number 1, they have star talent, real star talent. Reason number 2, they have lineup flexibility without chaos. Reason number 3, they already play like a playoff team, not a regular season trick. Start with the obvious one. Wembanyama is the center of everything. And the scary part is he still doesn't look finished. He's around 24 points, 11 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks a night, and he changes possessions even when he doesn't touch the ball.
Tracks it down. Victor spins on LaRavia, and the left hand goes down.
You can run a solid set, get into your action, beat the first defender, and then suddenly your layup turns into a floater from 6 feet further out because Wemby is waiting. That kind of defender changes your offense before the shot even happens. And on the other end, he gives them a cheat code. He can screen and roll, post, pop, push in transition, and bail out dead possessions late in the clock. You can play pretty and still have a panic button. That matters in the playoffs. But this is where the script usually gets lazy. People say, well yeah, they have Wemby, and stop there. No, That's not enough. This version of San Antonio works because De'Aaron Fox gives them a grown-up offensive engine next to the chaos. Fox is around 19 points and 6 assists this season, and his value goes way beyond the stat line. He pushes pace, gets downhill, keeps the ball moving, and gives them a clean option when the possession gets sticky.
It's Fox on the drive. De'Aaron all the way, got it to go.
When a young team starts to wobble, he can calm it down without slowing it down. That's a rare skill, and if you've watched young contenders before, you know this pattern. At some point in a playoff game, the pretty stuff dies, the cuts get blown up, the first action gets denied, the crowd gets loud. You need somebody who can still create an advantage with 12 seconds left. Fox is that guy. Now add Stephon Castle. This is where it gets fun. Castle is giving them big guard creation, point of attack defense, and legit playmaking. Around 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 7 assists, he can initiate, defend across positions, and he doesn't play scared. That 40-point triple-double against Dallas in February was the kind of game that changes how teams scout you.
For Stephon Castle, Vassell, no, oh! From the heavens!
Suddenly, you're not just the Rookie of the Year guard, you're the other problem. And yes, that Dallas game is a perfect example of what makes this Spurs team annoying. You game plan for Wemby, you worry about Fox, and then Castle drops a 40-point triple-double on your head. Good luck. Reason number 2 is where this really separates from a normal young team. Lineup flexibility without chaos. Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick, has accepted the 6-man role without making it weird. That matters more than people admit. Young guards usually want touches, rhythm, freedom, and a green light the size of Texas.
Harper pushing. Harper going to Clowney. The fake and the turnaround is good.
Harper gives them scoring pop and secondary playmaking off the bench, and he's already had those oh wow flashes, including becoming the youngest guard to post a 25-5 line with 0 turnovers in an early win over Brooklyn. During this February run, he also logged 7 assists in road wins at Toronto and Brooklyn. That's not filler, that's rotation depth turning into playoff insurance. And then you get to the wings and roll guys, which is where San Antonio starts looking very Spurs again. Carter Bryant has started to look like a real future piece for San Antonio because his impact goes way beyond his basic rookie numbers. Even though his season averages still look small, his February jump in minutes, confidence, and 3-point shooting suggests the game is starting to slow down for him, and that is a huge sign for a 20-year-old on a winning team. What makes him especially exciting is that he already contributes in the ways contenders need most: smart defense, positional versatility, good spacing, and low mistake basketball. If the shot keeps improving and he continues to grow physically and mentally, Bryant has the tools to become a high-level two-way wing who fits perfectly next to stars like Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, and potentially a key part of the Spurs' long-term core.
A little late to the party, but it was still looking good. And can he knock it in the corner? Yeah, it goes down.
Devin Vassell can score in bunches and handle secondary pick and roll. Keldon Johnson brings force, rebounding, and pressure at the rim. Harrison Barnes gives them veteran stability. Julian Champagnie can swing a game when the 3-ball is falling. The backup big rotation gives Mitch Johnson matchup choices instead of one emergency option. This is what people mean when they say they come at you in waves. Not because it sounds cool, because it's true. Look at the February streak, 11 straight wins. They go 11-0 in the month, with wins over Orlando, Oklahoma City, the Lakers, Golden State, Phoenix, and then finish it with a road win in Brooklyn. That final one makes them 43-16 and completes their first undefeated month since March 2014. That's not a random heater against tanking teams, that's a run with real tests. Everybody acts like a double-digit win streak from a young team is automatically a fluke. It's not. We've seen great teams announce themselves like this before. The 2013/14 Spurs did it with depth and ball movement. The 2015/16 Spurs did it with a 67-win machine built around Kawhi, LaMarcus, Duncan, Parker, and Manu. And of course, the 2012/13 Heat turned a streak into a warning siren for the whole league. And what I like most about the streak is how different the headliners were. Wembanyama drops 40 in Los Angeles, Castle explodes against Dallas, Vassell leads at Detroit. Champagny closes the month with 26 and 6 threes in Brooklyn. That is exactly how serious teams win over long stretches. Different heroes, same structure. Reason number 3, they already play like a playoff team, not a regular season trick. Now let's talk style, because this is where the old Spurs comparisons start showing up. No, they are not the 2014 Spurs, let's relax, but you can see the family resemblance. They score a lot, around 118.5 points per game. They move the ball, they have multiple creators, and they can play big or more spread out lineups depending on matchup. Wemby lets perimeter defenders get up into actions because they know they have help behind them. That means more pressure, more deflections, and more bad decisions from the offense. It also means opponents have a hard time mismatch hunting, because San Antonio can put size on the floor without turning it into a slow team.
It's into Wembanyama with the jackhammer!
That's a nightmare in a 7-game series if the communication holds. Yes, it's February. Yes, the playoffs are different. But that's exactly why this part matters now. Now, this is the point where I should probably sound cautious and responsible. So here you go. There are still real questions. How does this group handle playoff possessions when teams load up on Wemby for an entire series? Can Castle and Harper make enough right reads under postseason pressure, not just regular season pressure? Can the role players keep shooting when the gym gets tight? Can the Spurs survive the inevitable stretch where the threes stop dropping and every game turns into a half-court fistfight? Those are real questions, but here's the thing. Every contender has real questions in February. The difference is whether your strengths are strong enough to carry you while you answer them. San Antonio's strengths are strong enough. They have a top-end superstar. They have a veteran creator. They have young two-way guards. They have depth. They have identity. And they have an organization that has done this before. That last part matters a lot. Because when a young team starts winning, people usually ask, can they handle expectations? With San Antonio, I think the better question is, how quickly can they grow into them? The floor for this team feels like a top 4 seed and a tough second round series if inexperience bites them. The ceiling? If Wembanyama keeps bending games, if Fox manages late possessions, if Castle keeps making the leap in real time, and if the role players hold up under playoff pressure, then yes, a Western Conference Finals run is absolutely on the table. And if the bracket breaks right, you can talk yourself into even more. That's how good they've been. So here's my question for you. Are they just 1 year ahead of schedule? Or are we watching the beginning of a new dynasty?